Why don't we go to Nico from Illinois? Nico from Illinois, welcome to the program. What is on your mind today?
Hello.
Nico? Nico, we heard you. I don't know why you muted yourself.
All right, there we go. Hey, David. This is my
Hi.
first time calling in, and I kind of just had a question about social media and influencers and how they subliminally push kind of right wing ideas
Mm-hmm.
and how they kind of get these kids that follow them to believe into these right wing ideas and how you
What's an
think would be
example?
kind of educate them.
What's an example?
Just with like Andrew Tate and all that stuff that's gone on with him, I feel like there's a lot of um influencers out there that kind of like support him and try to make him seem like he's this really cool guy.
See, here's the
And
thing about that. Here's my thought, Nico, and this is an ongoing conversation that we can have, and I just am not sure. It seems that these types of people appeal to exactly the same folks, and what I mean by that is, I did this segment a few weeks ago about Liver King and Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson. And I didn't mean to say that they are the same in their ideologies. In fact, they are quite different. But the point was, they end up pulling in basically young men, often with less going on socially than they would like, often less relational, less involved in relationships than they would like, often without a defined or successful career path yet. And so they end up being different flavors of characters that pull in the same types of people. And I'll give you an example. I don't know anybody, and I'm sure they exist anecdotally, but I don't know anyone who works in, has a good job as a lawyer or as an accountant or even a success, whatever, and is sitting there watching Andrew Tate videos. You know what I mean? It
yeah,
seems like it's mostly young men that get sucked in. So while I agree with you that it's a bad thing that these figures pull people into this sort of like pseudo right wing, pull yourself up by your bootstraps type ideology, it's really only afflicting a particular demographic group overwhelmingly.
right. And I was just because I was just wondering this because I had seen a report that supposedly in the UK they're kind of like reteaching these young kids to try to get them away from these like Andrew Tate effect and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I just didn't know if that was like a good way to go at it or if it was just kind of like a waste of time because at the end of the day, these kids are going to go home and just watch what they want to watch, you know?
That's true. And, I know a high school principal I was recently, it's actually a middle and high school principal. And she was telling me that she's aware of seventh and eighth graders who watch Andrew Tate. And that's really the risk because these kids haven't even really defined anything about themselves yet. And that's where it's like, now that seems like a particularly pernicious age at which to be consuming that type of nonsense.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, it's not like they kind of let you form your own opinion, you know, they kind of just force this stuff on you. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Without a doubt.
It's just not something that I would want my kid to be exposed to, you know?
I agree. I agree. Well, I appreciate the call.
Yeah, thank you for taking my call, sir.
All right, take care. There is Nico from Illinois. Very important declarations, I think.